Trump's recent announcement just sent shockwaves through the car market. All cars made in America. It's not a suggestion, it's a mandate. Trump's shocking statement has set off waves of uncertainty in the auto industry. Foreign automakers may be forced to move their factories, while US companies see an opportunity for dominance. But what does it mean for you? Will cars get more expensive? Will the industry adapt or collapse under pressure? What's happening? Imagine waking up to the headline, "All cars must be made in America." It's not a policy proposal, it's a revolutionary shift that could upend the global automotive landscape. Donald Trump's bold announcement sent shockwaves through the automotive world. His mandate, every car sold in the United States must be manufactured entirely on American soil. This is not merely a suggestion, it's a direct challenge to decades of globalization that has shaped the auto industry. The proclamation seeks to put an end to the dominance of foreign automakers benefiting from global supply chains while ensuring American jobs and resources are at the forefront. For decades, the United States has been a hub for foreign brands. Companies like Toyota, BMW, and Volkswagen have thrived by leveraging global assembly lines and selling their products to American consumers. Trump's vision dismantles this model. Under his mandate, even brands that already have plants in the US must shift additional operations domestically. High-end vehicles like the BMW 7 Series, currently produced in Europe, and Toyota's flagship models built in Japan would be required to roll off American assembly lines. This shift could have far-reaching consequences. Some view it as a patriotic call to rebuild America's manufacturing backbone, while others warn it could lead to significant disruptions in the global economy. But how will foreign automakers, long accustomed to global supply chains, adapt to such a radical demand? Foreign automakers under pressure. What would you do if told to uproot your operations or risk losing access to the world's most lucrative car market? For foreign automakers, Trump's declaration is both a challenge and a potential turning point. Companies like Toyota, BMW, and Volkswagen have invested billions of dollars into their American operations over the years. Despite this, Trump's new mandate is unrelenting. It demands not just assembly in the US, but complete production, including sourcing parts and building high-end models domestically. Consider BMW. The company's Spartanburg, South Carolina plant, already the largest BMW factory globally, produces over 60% of the BMWs sold in the United States. Yet under Trump's rules, this isn't enough. Models traditionally built in Europe, such as the luxury 7 Series, would also need to shift production to American soil. Toyota faces similar hurdles. While its US plants produce popular models like the Camry and Corolla, its high-end models and specialized parts are still manufactured in Japan. Meeting Trump's demands would require an overhaul of its operations, potentially forcing Toyota to abandon some of its traditional production hubs. This isn't just a financial dilemma, it's an existential one. Foreign automakers must decide whether to absorb the cost of compliance or risk losing access to the US market. Either choice involves significant risks, from supply chain disruptions to higher costs for consumers. But why is Trump so determined to enforce such a sweeping change? The answer lies in his broader economic vision. Trump's economic strategy. Is this a bold push for American revitalization or a dangerous gamble with the economy? Trump's mandate is not just about cars, it's about a larger economic strategy aimed at reshaping America's manufacturing landscape. For decades, the US has seen factories close and jobs move overseas. Trump's vision seeks to reverse this trend by reviving domestic manufacturing and reclaiming America's position as a global industrial powerhouse. At the heart of this strategy is economic nationalism, a belief that the United States must prioritize its own industries and workforce. By forcing automakers to manufacture domestically, Trump aims to create jobs, boost local economies, and reduce America's reliance on imports. States like Michigan, Ohio, and South Carolina, historically reliant on manufacturing, could see a resurgence in economic activity as factories reopen and new ones are built. However, this vision comes with significant challenges. Modern automotive manufacturing is highly automated, meaning that while production may increase, job creation could lag behind expectations. Furthermore, American workers must adapt to the demands of high-tech production, which requires advanced training and skills. Without significant investment in workforce development, the benefits of this policy may be unevenly distributed. But what does this all mean for the people who buy these cars? That's where the consumer perspective comes into play. The consumer's perspective. Could this policy make your next car the most expensive one you've ever purchased? For American consumers, Trump's mandate represents a double-edged sword. On one side, there's the pride of owning a car that's truly made in America. Supporting domestic jobs and industries aligns with the values of many buyers who are eager to see their purchases contribute to the national economy. On the other side, the reality of increased manufacturing costs could hit consumers hard. Relocating production to the United States requires substantial investment in new facilities, labor, and logistics. These costs are unlikely to be absorbed by automakers, meaning they will be passed down to buyers in the form of higher car prices. Luxury brands like Mercedes-Benz and Audi may see their prices rise by thousands of dollars, making them less accessible to the average American. Even domestic automakers like Ford and General Motors could face challenges as they compete for resources and labor, potentially driving up the cost of their vehicles as well. Furthermore, the policy could lead to a reduction in consumer choice. Automakers may streamline their offerings, focusing on high-volume models that yield the greatest profits. This means fewer niche or luxury options, leaving consumers with limited variety. But this isn't just a story about cars, it's a move that has global implications. Global automotive giants on edge. What happens when the world's largest car manufacturers are forced to uproot their playbooks overnight? Trump's announcement has sent shockwaves through the global automotive industry, putting giants like Toyota, BMW, and Volkswagen in the hot seat. For decades, these companies have carefully balanced global supply chains to optimize costs and maximize profits. Trump's mandate changes everything, introducing a new layer of complexity to their operations. For Toyota, the stakes are particularly high. The Japanese automaker has a significant presence in the US, with plants in states like Kentucky and Indiana. However, these facilities primarily assemble vehicles, while many components are still imported from Japan and other Asian countries. Trump's mandate would require Toyota to localize its entire production process, a logistical and financial challenge that could disrupt its operations. BMW, a leader in luxury vehicles, faces a similar dilemma. The company's Spartanburg, South Carolina plant is its largest in the world, producing SUVs for both domestic and international markets. But Trump's policy pushes BMW to go further, demanding that high-end models like the 7 Series, currently manufactured in Germany, be built in the US. This raises questions about costs, logistics, and whether American workers can replicate the precision engineering BMW is known for. Volkswagen, which already assembles 90% of its US sold vehicles in North America, is in a slightly better position. However, expanding its operations to comply fully with Trump's demands would still require significant investment, potentially straining the company's resources. As automakers scramble to adapt, Trump's policy is sparking a heated debate about economic nationalism and its broader implications. The debate over economic nationalism. Is Trump's Made in America push a patriotic renaissance or a dangerous gamble? At the heart of Trump's mandate is the concept of economic nationalism, the belief that prioritizing domestic production will strengthen the nation's economy and reduce reliance on foreign countries. Proponents argue that this policy will create jobs, boost GDP, and restore America's manufacturing might. Critics, however, see it as a short-sighted move that could trigger a global trade war and drive up costs for consumers. Supporters of the policy highlight its potential to revitalize regions hit hardest by deindustrialization. States like Michigan, Ohio, and Pennsylvania, once the backbone of America's manufacturing sector, have seen factories shuttered and jobs outsourced. Trump's mandate could reverse this trend, bringing back high-paying jobs and restoring economic vitality to these areas. However, detractors warn of the unintended consequences. By forcing automakers to localize production, the policy could disrupt global supply chains, increase manufacturing costs, and lead to higher car prices. Additionally, the risk of retaliatory tariffs from other countries looms large. If nations like Germany, Japan, or China respond with trade barriers, it could harm US exporters and escalate tensions in an already fragile global economy. While the policy's economic implications are being hotly debated, its political and diplomatic ripple effects are equally significant. Political and diplomatic fallout. Could Trump's bold move ignite a global trade war? The international response to Trump's mandate has been swift and vocal. Leaders from Germany, Japan, and South Korea have criticized the policy as protectionist, arguing that it violates the principles of free trade. European Union officials have hinted at potential retaliatory measures, including tariffs on American goods ranging from agricultural products to industrial machinery. Germany, home to automotive giants like BMW and Mercedes-Benz, views Trump's policy as a direct attack on one of its most vital industries. German Chancellor Olaf Scholz has already called for emergency talks with EU leaders to discuss a coordinated response. Japan and South Korea, whose automakers dominate the US market, are also weighing their options. Could this lead to a tit-for-tat escalation, with tariffs spiraling out of control? The diplomatic fallout extends beyond trade. Trump's policy risks straining alliances with key economic partners. Countries that have invested heavily in the US, such as Germany and Japan, may reconsider their commitments, potentially affecting everything from military cooperation to joint ventures in technology and innovation. While foreign leaders react to the policy, its immediate effects on the US auto industry are already making waves. Domestic industry in turmoil. Will Trump's mandate ignite a manufacturing renaissance or plunge the US auto industry into chaos? The announcement has thrown the US auto industry into a state of uncertainty. While some automakers see it as an opportunity to strengthen their domestic presence, others are grappling with the logistical and financial challenges of compliance. Ford, for instance, has publicly supported the policy, framing it as a chance to double down on its American roots. The company is already investing in its US facilities, with plans to expand production of popular models like the F-Series trucks and the Ford Explorer. General Motors, meanwhile, is taking a cautious approach. The company has announced plans to build new EV plants in Michigan and Ohio, but it remains unclear whether these efforts will be enough to meet Trump's demands. Tesla, often seen as the crown jewel of American automotive innovation, is uniquely positioned. The majority of Tesla's production already occurs in the US, but the company's reliance on international suppliers for components like batteries poses a challenge. To comply fully with Trump's mandate, Tesla may need to invest heavily in domestic supply chains, a move that could stretch its resources thin. Smaller automakers and startups are feeling the squeeze as well. Companies like Rivian and Lucid Motors, which rely on global supply chains to keep costs down, are facing significant hurdles. The policy could force these companies to rethink their business models, potentially slowing innovation in the burgeoning EV market. As the domestic industry adapts, the focus shifts to consumers, who are beginning to feel the ripple effects of this seismic shift. The competitive response from the US. Can American automakers seize this moment to reclaim global dominance, or will they crumble under pressure? With Trump's mandate shaking up the auto industry, American automakers face both an unprecedented opportunity and a daunting challenge. Companies like Ford, General Motors, and Tesla now have the chance to position themselves as the undisputed leaders of a revitalized domestic market, but success is far from guaranteed. Ford has already begun leveraging its American identity, focusing heavily on its lineup of trucks and SUVs. These vehicles, emblematic of American design and utility, remain popular among US consumers. Ford's F-Series trucks, for example, are not just bestsellers, they are cultural icons. Trump's policy could amplify this advantage, allowing Ford to market its vehicles as authentically American in an era when patriotism sells. General Motors, however, faces a different challenge. Its push toward electric vehicles has been met with both praise and skepticism. While GM's ambitious EV lineup aligns with global trends, the policy could force the company to rethink its supply chains and production strategies. Materials like lithium and cobalt, essential for EV batteries, are primarily sourced from overseas. GM must now invest in domestic mining and manufacturing to comply with the mandate, a costly and complex endeavor. Tesla, the poster child for American automotive innovation, is uniquely positioned. Most of Tesla's manufacturing already occurs in the United States, but its reliance on international suppliers for components like batteries could pose problems. To adapt, Tesla may need to double down on domestic supply chains, potentially leading to higher prices or production delays. While automakers scramble to adjust, the policy's environmental and urban implications are equally profound. Environmental and urban implications. Could this mandate inadvertently accelerate the fight against climate change, or will it derail environmental progress? The shift to domestic production could have significant environmental consequences, both positive and negative. On one hand, relocating factories to the United States could reduce the carbon footprint associated with global shipping and transportation. Automakers would no longer need to import cars or components from overseas, cutting emissions tied to logistics. Moreover, the focus on domestic domestic production aligns with the growing trend toward sustainability. Automakers are already investing in cleaner technologies, such as EVs and hydrogen-powered vehicles, to meet stricter environmental standards. Trump's policy could push these efforts further by encouraging companies to integrate sustainable practices into their US-based operations. On the other hand, building new factories and infrastructure comes with environmental costs. The construction of facilities requires significant energy and resources, potentially offsetting the benefits of reduced transportation emissions. Additionally, if automakers ramp up production of gas-powered vehicles to meet immediate demand, it could stall the progress of EV adoption. Urban implications are another critical aspect. The policy could lead to a resurgence of manufacturing hubs in cities that have long suffered from deindustrialization. While this could boost local economies, it also raises questions about urban planning and sustainability. Cities must balance the benefits of economic growth with the need for green spaces, efficient public transit, and reduced congestion. But the implications of this policy extend far beyond the United States, touching on the global race in transport infrastructure. The global race in transport infrastructure. As America doubles down on domestic production, how will the rest of the world respond? Trump's mandate has intensified the global race for dominance in transportation infrastructure. Nations like China, Germany, and Japan are already leading in key areas, from EV production to high-speed rail. The United States' renewed focus on domestic manufacturing is a direct challenge to these global players, setting the stage for intense competition. China, for instance, has emerged as the world leader in EV production. Companies like BYD and NIO are not only producing vehicles at scale, but also pioneering technologies that make EVs more accessible and efficient. China's government heavily subsidizes these efforts, ensuring its companies remain competitive on the global stage. Germany, home to automotive giants like BMW, Volkswagen, and Mercedes-Benz, continues to excel in engineering and innovation. These companies are heavily invested in autonomous driving and luxury EVs, appealing to a premium market segment. Trump's mandate could force German automakers to rethink their strategies, particularly if they want to maintain a presence in the US market. Meanwhile, Japan's automakers, including Toyota and Honda, are focusing on hybrid technologies and hydrogen fuel cells as alternatives to traditional EVs. Japan's approach emphasizes reliability and long-term sustainability, making it a formidable competitor in the global market. For the United States, competing on this global stage requires significant investment in infrastructure. Expanding EV charging networks, developing sustainable supply chains, and modernizing factories are all essential steps. Without these investments, the US risks falling behind in the race for transportation innovation. As nations adapt, the question remains, how will society respond to these rapid technological changes? Social adaptation to high-tech mobility. Can society keep pace with the rapid evolution of transportation, or will it be left in the dust? The shift toward high-tech mobility is not just an industrial challenge, it's a societal one. As automakers embrace automation, AI, and sustainable technologies, consumers and workers must adapt to a rapidly changing landscape. One significant aspect is the workforce. Manufacturing jobs today require advanced technical skills, from operating robotics to programming AI systems. This shift necessitates a massive investment in education and training programs to prepare workers for the demands of modern factories. Without these initiatives, the promise of job creation could fall short, leaving many Americans unprepared for the future. For consumers, high-tech mobility offers both opportunities and challenges. Innovations like autonomous vehicles and EVs promise safer, more efficient transportation, but they also require a shift in mindset. Consumers must adapt to new technologies, from learning to trust self-driving systems to understanding the nuances of EV charging infrastructure. The societal impact extends beyond individuals. Communities must rethink urban planning to accommodate new forms of transportation. Smart cities designed to integrate autonomous vehicles and AI-driven public transit could become the norm. However, achieving this vision requires collaboration between governments, industries, and citizens. As we examine these broader implications, the next part will explore how these changes are shaping the future of global mobility. The shift toward innovation. Will Trump's policy force the automotive industry to innovate at an unprecedented pace? The demand for made-in-America cars presents a golden opportunity for automakers to rethink how vehicles are designed and produced. With the shift toward domestic manufacturing, companies have a unique chance to embrace cutting-edge technologies such as artificial intelligence, automation, and advanced robotics to streamline production and reduce costs. Electric vehicles are at the forefront of this transformation. Ford, General Motors, and Tesla are doubling down on EV production to stay competitive in an increasingly eco-conscious market. The use of advanced battery technologies such as solid-state batteries could revolutionize the industry, offering longer range, faster charging times, and reduced reliance on rare earth materials. Furthermore, the integration of vehicle-to-grid technology promises to enhance energy efficiency by enabling cars to share electricity with the power grid, turning EVs into mobile energy hubs. Additionally, automakers are exploring sustainable manufacturing practices to align with consumer demands for environmentally friendly products. From sourcing renewable materials to reducing factory emissions, these efforts could redefine what it means to produce a car in America. Circular economy principles are also being adopted, focusing on recycling and repurposing vehicle components to minimize waste and lower production costs. As automakers embrace innovation, the economic and societal impacts of this shift are beginning to unfold. Entire communities tied to the automotive industry could experience revitalization, while consumers stand to benefit from more advanced, eco-friendly, and competitively priced vehicles. The economic ripple effect. Could Trump's policy usher in a new era of economic prosperity, or will it strain the middle class? The policy's impact on the economy is multifaceted. On one hand, increased domestic production could lead to job creation, revitalizing communities that have long suffered from deindustrialization. States like Michigan and Ohio, historically dependent on manufacturing, are already seeing renewed investment from automakers looking to expand their U.S. operations. On the other hand, the cost of transitioning to domestic manufacturing could drive up car prices, straining household budgets. Analysts estimate that the price of a new car could rise by several $1,000s, particularly for imported brands forced to localize production. This could disproportionately affect middle and lower income families, who may find it harder to afford a new vehicle. Moreover, rising costs could prompt many consumers to delay car purchases, impacting sales and dealer revenues. Small businesses that rely on fleet vehicles could also feel the pinch. Industries like ride-sharing, delivery, and logistics may face higher costs, potentially passing these expenses on to consumers. This in turn could ripple through other sectors, creating a broader economic strain on businesses and households alike. Despite these challenges, the policy could create opportunities for innovation in other sectors, such as logistics, infrastructure, and renewable energy. The expansion of EV charging networks, for example, could spur growth in green technology, benefiting the broader economy. Additionally, initiatives to localize supply chains might stimulate advancements in material science and manufacturing efficiency, setting a foundation for long-term economic gains. Beyond economic impacts, the policy is also sparking societal changes that could redefine how Americans view mobility, consumer choice, and the value of supporting domestic industries. Redefining mobility and sustainability. Is America ready for a transportation revolution that prioritizes sustainability and innovation? The shift toward domestic manufacturing coincides with a broader societal movement toward sustainability. Consumers are increasingly demanding eco-friendly vehicles, and automakers are responding by ramping up production of electric and hybrid models, aiming to meet this rising demand while embracing cutting-edge technology. Public transportation is also undergoing a transformation. Cities across the US are investing in sustainable transit solutions, such as electric buses and light rail systems, to reduce their carbon footprints. These initiatives align with Trump's push for domestic production, creating opportunities for American manufacturers to lead in the green mobility space. Infrastructure developments like EV charging stations and smart grid integration further accelerate this shift, fostering collaboration between private and public sectors. Additionally, the policy is challenging traditional notions of car ownership. As automakers focus on high-volume production of EVs, consumers may shift toward subscription-based models or car-sharing services, reducing the need for individual car ownership. This change could also lower urban congestion and emissions, transforming cities into cleaner and more efficient spaces. While the benefits of these changes are clear, the road ahead is fraught with challenges that demand careful navigation. Balancing affordability, accessibility, and sustainability will be critical in ensuring this revolution benefits all Americans. Navigating the road ahead. Will Trump's policy lead to a manufacturing renaissance or a global trade war? The success of Trump's policy hinges on the ability of automakers, policymakers, and consumers to adapt to a rapidly changing landscape. For automakers, the challenge lies in balancing the cost of domestic production with the need to remain competitive in a global market. For policymakers, the focus must be on creating an environment that encourages innovation while protecting consumers from rising costs. The global implications of the policy cannot be ignored. As foreign governments respond with retaliatory measures, the risk of a trade war looms large. To mitigate this, international collaboration and dialogue will be essential. At the same time, the policy presents a unique opportunity for America to reclaim its position as a global leader in manufacturing and innovation. By embracing new technologies and fostering a culture of sustainability, the US can set a new standard for the automotive industry. This bold policy has sparked a national debate and raised critical questions about the future of American manufacturing. Do you think Trump's push for Made in America cars will create lasting economic benefits, or is it a gamble with unforeseen consequences? We want to hear your thoughts. Drop your opinions in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.